FitXR versus Supernatural. For the longest time, Supernatural was its own thing. It was a subscription-based service, and I felt like it was too different than FitXR, which was a buy one time and add-on packs kind of game. It didn't feel the same to me. So I was hesitant to do this, but if you're not aware, FitXR has recently gone to the subscription-based model, which changes everything. Okay, now they're trying to compete with Supernatural as well as other apps too. But I feel like with that addition to FitXR, I feel like it can now be something I can compare. Now, let's get to it. Okay, so the first metric that I'm using is value. So here's my problem. Okay, $19 a month is high. It's very high for a fitness app. If you're looking at other apps like Peloton's only like $12 or $13 a month. Sufferfest is like $14 a month. But when you look at FitXR, you're getting your daily workouts, and you might not like some of them, but it's the same on both sides. You might not like some of the low intensity ones. You only want the high intensity ones. The value of what you're getting matches FitXR better than it does Supernatural. So the first point goes to FitXR. Number 2, settings and graphics. Now you're not going to be shocked with this one, and I'm just going to tell you right out of the gate. Supernatural wins this one by a landslide. Supernatural has endless landscapes for you to train in, both real and fictional. FitXR has 3, and it's barely 3. It's more like 2.5. You have a outside, we'll just call it outside. You have outside at nighttime, and then you have inside. And honestly, they're not all that great. With Supernatural, you're going to get a far better immersive experience, whereas with FitXR, you're going to get more like a knockoff Beat Saber experience. You have the tunnel. Nothing really moves in 360. Boom. Point goes Supernatural. Number 3, metrics and data. So FitXR measures actual punching speed in meters per second. And this is a really helpful tool in helping you push yourself harder in an individual workout and even during the workout, and help you calculate your score in a meaningful way with true data. Now, Supernatural in this department is surprisingly lacking considering how much effort and work goes into the rest of what they put out. And it's almost frustratingly bad, the data you get from Supernatural. For example, Supernatural has suspect data like power meter, which is like beyond frustrating, and they can be actually really mysterious to decipher. So to break it down, when you first start on Supernatural, your power readings are going to be super high. In fact, you can actually check out the link I made to get your power scores even higher. It's going to be up here, but your power is going to be in like the 90 to 95, maybe even the top 100 range of percentage. Then something crazy happens. After about 20 workouts, your power score is going to magically plummet like a lot. I mean, a lot. And it's kind of weird and frustrating because if you're pushing like all diamond workouts at like 98, 99, and you're like, man, I'm cooking along, I'm cruising, I'm feeling good. And boom, suddenly you get like a 76 out of nowhere. That sucks. Supernatural has made it very clear that they aren't really going to tell you what this metric is. Leanna's come out and tried to explain it before, but nobody is ever really satisfied with this because it's not measuring true power. I wish they would call it just something else. Just call it something else and you would have a better score. Call it Supernatural score. Oh wait, they already have that. Call it like the X Factor or some bullshit like that. Don't call it power. It's not power. But beyond the both interclass and post-class data that you get from Supernatural and FitXR, FitXR is even better after. So Supernatural has an app that they use, and then even on your actual app on the headset, you have a leaderboard which is filled with all of the people you've added or your friends or whoever you've found on Supernatural to compete with. But here's the problem. The Supernatural scoreboard or leaderboard rather, it promotes overtraining because all it does is it shows all of the cumulative points for the week. And at the top, you have the people who have worked out the most. That's not great, okay? Having somebody work out and overtrain and keep doing it over and over again, it's not a good thing. Yes, you should work out every day. Like, I feel like there's no reason you should take any sort of all day off. You can do yoga, you can do stretching, whatever. But there's no reason that there should be a leaderboard promoting this kind of overtraining. It's almost counterproductive to a fitness applications, because what's going to happen is someone's going to get injured, which they do. People always complain about knees and shoulder problems, and then they're out. But if you paid for the year, it's not that big a deal. So with FitXR, you get a post-class leaderboard that shows you the amount of points you got for each class, and it compares like your last class, which is great. This is what it should be. It shouldn't be like cumulative score, because you're going to have a lot of people who are going to overtrain right out of the gate because they're trying to compete with other people who are just insane with this stuff. So FitXR hands down wins the metrics and data portion of this fight. Number 4 is going to be the trainers themselves. Now, when you look at Supernatural and you follow them on Instagram and Facebook, the trainers are very involved with everything Supernatural. They're very much a brand representative, and that's perfect. That's what something like this needs. It's very similar to Peloton or Orange Theory, or the kind of trainers that are super rah-rah and super motivated, and they're trying to get you to work out the best you can and always make you feel good about yourself. That's what belongs in Supernatural. When you're playing the game, the trainer feedback is meaningful. It's very personal. You learn a lot about each individual trainer. They also interact with folks on the Facebook group, and they're constantly giving advice and different updates, and they're giving people motivation there. It's really cool. They have a really good team there. Now with FitXR, it's a lot different. The FitXR trainers are kind of just like mannequins. They just sort of sit there and they're in a picture. You never see them. You're never going to see them like interacting with you. And then what happens is throughout your workout, the advice that they're giving you is very lackluster, and it's not very meaningful. And it's really off-putting and just like, ugh, why was that even there?
Powerful. You fought like a warrior. Beast mode.
Like, this is a game that could benefit with no trainers, and that's a bad thing for the trainers. So this one definitely goes to Supernatural. Number 5, variety. Supernatural has 3 different levels of, I don't know what you call it, I guess, balloon hitting, ball hitting. Note to self, do not call it ball hitting on the video. We'll just call it fitness. So Supernatural has 3 different levels of their fitness classes. And then they also have meditation and stretching. They have extended stretching in there too. FitXR has 3 different levels of boxing and dancing. Both applications have workouts that you're probably not going to do. Most people are going to skip the meditation, skip the extended stretching, and probably skip the low workouts on, they're probably going to skip the warm up and the cool downs as well on Supernatural. And then on FitXR, the main meat and potatoes seems to be from the boxing. Most people are probably going to skip the dancing, because if you've ever done it, it's kind of dog shit. And then at the bottom, now that they've done the subscription service, it says HIIT, H-I-I-T. It stands for high intensity interval training. No clue what that's going to be, but it's not there yet, so I can't really factor that into this. I have a feeling it's going to end up replacing dancing, because the dancing is pretty shitty.
That's right.
But what I'm getting at here is that both of these programs have a wide variety of things. Most of them you're going to skip. So in this one, we're calling it a tie. Number 6 is going to be music. Now, this is an easy victory for Supernatural. Let's just get it out of the way. They have actual legitimate artists that you've heard of. You might not like every single playlist that comes up, but you're going to recognize at least who they might be, unless you're like 60 years old and you might not know who Cardi B is. They've got EDM, hip hop, there's some country, there's punk, there's ska, there's polka, there's classical music. I mean, there's a lot of different styles of music in Supernatural. Not to mention, the actual mapping of each level is going to feel like it actually belongs to the song. It doesn't feel like some X Booster bullshit where just buttons and things get thrown in over on top of different things. So it actually does feel like the songs match the mapping, so that's a good thing. FitXR, on the other hand, they have a variety of music, but most of it is very generic, and it seems to be like knockoffs or just instrumental tracks. So you're gonna get like people that sound like Kanye, or people that sound like fill in the blank, Cardi B, whatever. but you're not actually going to get those people. You're going to get the other versions of them, the ripoff artists of them. And to be fair, the music and the mapping in FitXR matches pretty well. I mean, for the most part, they're going to throw a lot of like bullshit boxing at you that you would never do in real boxing, but let's not forget this is cardio boxing, so it's not the same thing. It does fit very well with the music though, but you have to remember what they do is very limited compared to Supernatural. Supernatural, you're basically moving your arms in a variety of different degrees of motion. And then FitXR, it's like punch, hook, uppercuts, and then lunge this way too. So the best I can compare them is Supernatural when it comes to music is the Dr. Pepper, and then FitXR when it comes to music is the off-brand soda that your mom buys to save like 30 cents. Easy victory, Supernatural. Number 7 is social aspects of the game. Now, you might not be somebody who likes to play multiplayer games, and that's totally fair. I'm not a huge fan of multiplayer. However, I want to tell you about somebody before I dive into this. My good friend Elena is a VR fitness YouTuber all the way in Moldova. This way? Hold on. East. This way. All the way in Moldova. What we did on FitXR last week was we put together a private room and we played an entire workout together, and we got to talk and bullshit and, you know, enjoy the multiplayer experience. And now for me, that was a lot of fun, but I also, you know, I knew who I was talking to. Lena is a friend of mine. So if you want to follow somebody who does a really good job detailing out different FitXR workouts, and like, if you go back in her library, you see all sorts of great, like, side quest game fitness workouts, and just, you know, lots of different styles of workouts that are going to be broken down very meticulously. I mean, she's a fucking cartographer, for Christ's sake. So you know she's going to be thorough with her research. Go follow her. I don't know why I'm pointing up here. Is there a link there? If there's a link there, go ahead and push it. But if there's not a link there, just go away, finger. FitXR does a great job of making it seem like you're in a group setting. Now, you may or may not actually be in a group setting. I think the jury's out on this one. I have no clue. But when you look to your left and your right, you see a lot of people in the class with you. And they're, you know, what I have a feeling they're doing is like recording what you did, and then they're playing it back in other classes, which I think is fine. Like, it still gives you that group setting, and the people are off to the side and not distracting whatsoever. It's pretty cool. Supernatural, on the other hand, has no like real native multiplayer. They don't have any way to really play with your friends outside of starting an Oculus party and like outside the app and then going from there. And I know that there's a lot of people who are interested in doing like large group workouts with Supernatural, but I don't know how that would work, like being able to see people, but turning 360 degrees, it kind of throws things off. So Supernatural is largely solo based with an emphasis on you and the trainer. You do have the Facebook group, and it is an official Facebook group from Supernatural, but the reality is FitXR dominates the multiplayer experience when it comes to comparing these two. So point FitXR. So number 8 is going to be the workout results. This is the big one here. This is one that a lot of people say one is better than the other. But when we look at each individual workout, we have to analyze a lot of different parts to it. For example, Supernatural, when done correctly, can be a beast of a workout. But the problem, like I mentioned in my Supernatural versus Beat Saber video, is that not a lot of people play Supernatural the way it's intended. A lot of people play it like Beat Saber. And go ahead, fanboys, go ahead in the comments, like you keep going. It largely targets the shoulders, the back, the legs, the core, and like your obliques. And you do this through a variety of different swinging patterns. You're also hitting squats, lunges, and they've started adding quick feet and a few like butt squeeze movements, like leg lifts. So you have a lot of different things you're working with to create a very hardcore workout experience, especially if you're really pushing the power on a medium workout, or if you're trying to keep up on a pros only workout. Man, that thing can mess you up. And then FitXR is a boxing where let's call it a cardio boxing style workout that's going to focus mainly on the punching motions with a couple side lunges here and there and squats here and there as well, but they're not thrown in as routinely as Supernatural is. The one thing I do like about FitXR though is it has you switch your stances, so you're not always punching in one stance. But again, FitXR is a boxing style workout that is limited to 6 movements. You have your jab, your cross, your hooks, your uppercuts, your squats, your lunges, or your leans if you're not feeling up to it. And then the dancing also incorporates a lot of different movements too, but I don't know that a lot of people play the FitXR dancing, but it's not going to be a very good workout if you don't know what you're doing. And I've tried the FitXR dance at every level and they look absolutely ridiculous. But comparing the data, when you're doing the workout, some claim that the FitXR workout is the tougher workout, when in reality, they're kind of the same. And I'm comparing my raw data between 2 20-minute tracks, and I'm not really convinced that FitXR is the better workout. And when Supernatural is done correctly, it can be just as effective, if not more effective, than FitXR. It's just a matter of putting in the effort to do it the right way. So this right here is going to be a tie. Number 9 is going to be Legitimacy and Expertise. Supernatural has a warm-up. You probably skip it. Has a cooldown. You probably skip it. And then it also has an extending stretching program that you probably don't do, and meditation as well, which most of us don't do. And then FitXR really has no built-in warm-up. You could do like a couple of the shorter tracks because they have a couple 3-minute tracks in there, but it really just kind of throws you into the game. And you're just like, oh, now I'm boxing. The other thing that pisses me off is FitXR sells weighted gloves on their website. Yeah, you know how I feel about weighted gloves. And if you don't, go look at this link. Is that link there? It's probably there. Go look at this link up here. So that tells me right there that FitXR has not done the research to show that this is not a good idea, doing weighted gloves, especially with an open chain workout like boxing. So that whole thing about having, weighted gloves on their website, that, in my opinion, kind of tips them under as far as the expertise point. Supernatural. Last but not least, and I feel like this is the most important thing about these two programs, is the accessibility. Now, the accessibility, I mean, is people all over the world. And here's the problem. Supernatural is only available in the United States and Canada, also known as America's Hat. FitXR, on the other hand, is available all over the world. Anybody can play it from anywhere as long as you have Wi-Fi and an Oculus headset. So in my personal opinion and professional opinion, FitXR wins that one. And it's probably the reason they can charge a lower price than Supernatural, because they're available to everyone across the globe. Supernatural is not. And one of the things that holds them back is their music licensing. So while they have great music, that music licensing and the rules that surround just using music anywhere in the globe, they're really hard. They're really hard to do. I mean, even as a gym owner, I have to pay $400 a month just to play music in my gym. I have to pay a CCAP, somebody. I got to pay somebody $400 a month. I forget who. Just some dude, I guess. So FitXR wins the accessibility point. And that leaves us with one final score. So if you're keeping track at home, the final result is a tie. That's right. And I'm telling you, I tried my best to not make this end in a tie. I literally tried my best. And I know I could have thrown in one extra bullshit category, but I felt like anything beyond the categories that I chose were going to be just like made up. Like it looked like I was trying too hard to make one win. And so this is what it boils down to, is that if you like one of these over the other, that's awesome, because in my opinion, they're very comparable, and they're the two powerhouses of fitness on the Oculus Quest 2. So if you like one over the other, perfect, do it, love it, enjoy it. So if you liked what you heard today and you want to hear more fitness tips from a true fitness professional, go ahead and hit like, subscribe, hit the bell, because the bell thing, I think it's over here. Is it down there? I know everyone in every fitness YouTube video asks this at all times, but I'm truly interested. Which one is the better workout for you? FitXR or Supernatural? My name is Ari with FitPro VR, and don't forget to get your workout in today.